Hello everyone, my name is Brittany Foran, and today I'm going to talk about my dementia care project. I did a PowerPoint presentation, and I entitled mine The Truth About Dementia. So in my PowerPoint presentation, I gave a little description about what I believe dementia is and what our textbook refers to dementia as. I just wrote that dementia is an umbrella term for many different disorders that affect an individual's brain. Dementia occurs due to damage to neurons in the brain, which slows down normal functioning and can also cause those brain cells to deteriorate. I also discuss the symptoms of dementia, which are problem solving and language difficulties, which actually can affect the way that individuals properly communicate with others. Difficulty with thinking and memory loss. Sometimes people with dementia need to repeat themselves a few times in order for individuals to understand what they're speaking about. Changes in mood or behaviors. I believe that this can also vary sporadically and may occur spontaneously. I wrote about the struggles of dementia. There are often difficulties in regards to communication, which is unfortunate because if a care worker is not patient enough or open to trying different communication approaches, there's a lot of information that they would not be receiving from the client, which is ultimately really upsetting because that client may have something that they're really trying to tell you, and if you're not patient enough to hear what they're saying, you're not going to know what they're trying to tell you. I discussed difficulties performing former tasks, which can also be extremely upsetting for people with dementia. You know, if you have been doing things a certain way for a certain amount of time, and then one day you just can't do them anymore, it's extremely frustrating. Impaired judgment can actually result in health and safety issues because a client or a person with dementia may accidentally, unknowingly, put themselves into harm's way. Problems with abstract thinking can cause extra confusion and can be very upsetting for a person with dementia. And changes in personality can also be very difficult for family members. Some family members choose to stop visiting their family because they feel that they can't control handling seeing this person that was so close to them becoming someone that they don't know because the dementia is taking over. I also discussed person-centered care. So I gave a little bit of a definition. Person-centered care is essentially the process of creating a care plan suited to the needs of each individual. It is understanding that every client has specific needs and differ from each other. There are, however, some levels of compromise on behalf of the client and the caseworker in order to provide proper care for the client in consideration of the health and safety of the client. So when I said that, what I meant was there's going to be some things that a client may want that may not be realistic just because it may put them into harm and it may be a safety problem. There are a lot of many things. So it's always about compromise, but it's also really listening to what the person with dementia is telling you so that you can rest assured that they're having the care that they want and the care that's about them. It is important to consider a strength-based approach when using the person-centered care model because it promotes independence. When you focus on a client's strength, you are easily able to adapt their daily tasks to help them instead of changing the way that they do things. When you're looking at areas for growth, it's also important to consider the person and any limitations that may occur. It is important to respect their independence and comfortability of the client when making changes with their routine and with a care plan. So you can't just go in and change things just like today and tomorrow. You have to be patient and you have to allow them to understand that there's a change being made and do it progressively, because if you just constantly make all these changes, someone with dementia they're already very confused, and that's just it's not a very good approach for people with dementia. So I thought it was really important to write about my personal experience with dementia. As a home care worker, I have had several clients that have dementia, and I just thought it was really important to share some of my experiences. So as a home support worker, previous to this course, I did not understand that there was a behavior. I didn't understand that there was a need, and that's what the behavior was a reflection of. I would just become very frustrated, and I sometimes felt very threatened because I didn't understand the reason for the behaviors. When I was working with clients that had dementia, I've had clients that have had sudden mood changes. The mood changes may have occurred right after a nap or upon my arrival. And I never knew what kind of mood that I'd be walking into. I didn't know what the behavior would be, which has made me very uneasy because I have anxiety. So going into the home was already anxious for me enough. And their moods may also change more than 3 times during my visit of even 3 hours. So it was really, I felt like I was always walking on eggshells. I didn't know how to approach a situation. I didn't know how to make that client feel comfortable. I didn't know if I should address that client's behavior, if I shouldn't address that client's behavior, if I should just be passive, if I should say, you know what, I don't really like the way you're speaking to me. I wasn't really sure. Like, I didn't have any experience. I didn't have any education about dementia. I've had clients become very sexually suggestive and requesting sexual activity with me, concerning me and touching me inappropriately, and becoming very giddy when it was time for their personal care. And I didn't understand it because, they may have their spouse in the other room, and I didn't know how to change that focus of behavior for them and to understand, I wasn't able to stop and think, this isn't who they are. This isn't what they really want. You have to look at the whole picture. 20 minutes ago, this client was saying that they thought that it was 1920. They may think that you're his wife or his husband or her husband or anything like that. And I've also had experience with clients that were hallucinating, and it's honestly scared me sometimes. I've seen people that were playing with Kleenex, and when you asked them what they were doing, they became very frustrated because they didn't understand that you couldn't see what they were seeing. And when I had asked one client once, she said, well, I'm sewing. And she became very angry because I asked her what she was sewing, and I was trying to make conversation with her, and I wanted her to feel comfortable, but she became very frustrated with me, and I didn't understand at the time. And, one time a client had said that they saw a doll on my shoulder, and the doll was telling her it was time for me to rest, and I couldn't understand what that behavior was about. And now that I've taken this course and I've really reflected on this project, it's helped me to better understand that, okay, so it is dementia, because some people with dementia do have hallucinations. It's not just, her saying that because she's, trying to scare me. It's not, I don't need to be scared. It's because she has dementia that she's having these hallucinations, or he's having these hallucinations. I also discussed intervention strategies. So in order to provide exceptional care to clients with dementia, it is important to ask questions about their daily routine and what it was before the dementia. It is great to keep the routine and have the same similarity and familiarity for them. Allowing them to participate in activities that they enjoy are also beneficial because it allows their need of it helps with their need of esteem. So when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, esteem is one of the needs. And in order to have esteem, you need independence. You need to do things that you really enjoy doing. Promoting independence and offering a leading hand is more important than telling a client the way that things are going to be done and completely taking over the task and doing everything for them. Because even as we age, when you're an adult, even some people when you're younger, there's a big part of it that is independence. And it's very important that you're able to keep that independence and integrity with them as they age, regardless of dementia or not. When assessing dementia, it is important to let the client know that they are not alone and that things will be okay. I think it is important to really explain what dementia is by using easy to understand words and terms that the client can understand. At that moment, what is occurring with them, so that there is an explanation for what they are feeling. When someone's told that they have dementia, it really might not make sense to them, and I think that When you're originally told that you may have something, your brain just kind of shuts off because you're in shock. You finally have an understanding for your behaviors, but it's just so much information that's being thrown at you at once that sometimes you just need someone to stop and say, okay, we're going to resume this the next day and we're going to talk about what it is. I think it's really important for people to understand, what is dementia, what's going to happen, if they're capable of understanding. If the situation was very progressed dementia and you weren't able to explain, that's fine. But if you have the opportunity to, I think it's really important that you do, especially with the family, because, one day this person could be your mom or your father or a family member, and then the next day this person isn't who you thought that they were. It's not the person that grew up with you. It's not the person that put you to bed every night. And I think it's really important for those people to understand that that person's still in there. You just need to create a person-centered approach and able to help that person. It's also very important to encourage healthy lifestyle and promote daily activities such as nutritional options, and ensuring clients with dementia that eating is very important. There are great and positive ways to ensure this, such as praise and leaving little reminders for clients to eat. It's also a really good thing to do is meal prep. When you are able to meal prep, you're ensuring that your client's eating healthy because you are preparing healthy foods for them to eat. You're making it easy for them because you have it in the fridge. They can just go heat it up for themselves. Or if, they have like a 24-hour care basis, or whichever, the next caregiver that comes in, they can pop it in the oven, they can put it in the microwave, heat it up, it's ready to go for that client. So that way, it's a give and a take. You ask your client what they like, and you're able to prepare it for them to ensure that they're eating it. You can compromise a bit and say, okay, if one day, you want to have a taco, okay, you can have healthier options on the other days. Or, that way you have some type of kind of, not to say control, but you have some type of way to ensure that your client or a person with dementia is actually eating healthy and receiving the proper nutrients that they need, because it's very important in our daily functioning, I believe. So my last slide is working with dementia as a care worker. So with the successful completion of this course, I now have the knowledge and insight about dementia. I believe that when we are able to educate ourselves about something, the fear of the unknown is no longer existent. I feel as though I now have the skills to provide the proper and exceptional care for clients with dementia. I will be able to take a minute when I am frustrated or feeling overwhelmed to assess the behaviors. Assessing the behavior will allow me to better understand the needs of the client. With the understanding of the need, I will be able to provide assistance and assure that they are having their needs met. I will also be able to assess specific approaches with clients, which will allow me to find which approach works best for that specific individual, because no two people are the same. I plan to keep up with my continuing education towards dementia as technology and science progresses so that I can examine new strategies in helping those with dementia. I will also keep good communication with my coworkers to allow me to review other strategies for care. What I'd also like to point out is to have continual communication with the family, to let them know the progress of client, and to always keep an open door policy with everyone in regards to that client's care, because at the end of the day, the team and the individual working all have the same requests, and that's for the health and safety of that client with dementia. Thank you for listening to my presentation.